In my opinion, IQ Capital is the best prop firm for futures day traders out there. And in this video, I just want to introduce you to IQ Capital and also how I funded my challenge over there, how I got funded, and how is this going with my funded account and what strategy I'm actually trading and how I traded to fund this account and to keep my challenge and finally get a payout soon. Left side, you can see my exact challenge. As you can see, I passed it in a little as 2 days. I kind of changed my approach over here because before I was like risking a maximum of $50 to $100 on average on a 50K account, and it kind of took a long to pass these challenges. And there was like one challenge where I traded like for 8 weeks or something, was almost there, and then blew it up. And then I thought, man, okay, I need to get through this challenges phases faster because I know I can trade. I know I have the ability to trade consistent, to trade profitable. And from there, I thought, okay, then try to get this funded account as quick as possible and then de-risk in the funded challenge. And basically, it took me like this 2 days, and there was like one trade to mention. This was just a decent runner over here. Before it was like kind of break even stretch, messing around, scalping a little bit this whole 2 days, and then I had this decent runner, got in over here in the trend, and kind of scaled up and yeah, scaled out at the top with 3K in profit. So when you have a prop firm where you can pass a challenge in one day, you can literally pass it in one day if you know what you are doing. I can't still did not risk like $1,000 or $2,000 to get this 3K. It's not allowed at IQ Capital. So you're in a challenge, you are maximum allowed to risk like 1%. So there's not allowed to risk $1,000 or $2,000. The maximum allowed risk sizing is $500. What is really cool, I think, because most beginners have the problem of over risking where that runs bad. I also had this problem and blew in the past a lot of challenges because I over risked it. And because of that, I also found a PropControl, the AI command center, and also the indicator inside of a test where I can see my risk, and there's like a blinking red dashboard when I over risk and stuff like that. I also created it, but I also like if there's another instance behind it to tell me, bro, you're risking too much, and then you stop. So basically, this is the maximum $500, and I never risked more than that. And you have the chance to just like have three bullets of this $500. If you trade more than $500 a fourth time, then this challenge is also blown. So maximum risk is $500, and then yeah, I kind of scaled in, and it was really, really fast. Enough said about my challenge. Let's go into IQ Capital and yeah, why I think it's the best prop firm out there. At first, you can have like up to 100K accounts, so you are able to have like 1 million in funding and 90% of profit splits. I think so that the first 10K are 100% yours. So before like the first 10K is like 100% profit split. Then you have 50K or 100K challenges. I started with the 50K challenges. You have also the ability to use the instant funding, what I don't recommend because the instant funding pricing, I guess, was it's around like $500 or something. And if you know you can pass the challenge, what you should know if you buy an instant funding account, then basically you need like maybe like me 5 shots or 3 shots to pass a challenge. Sometimes maybe 1 shot if you really risk this $500 max risk. Then you have like maybe a couple of tries, and you always come cheaper than the $400 in the instant funding, and you have kind of better position loss flat. So the maximum risk is 1% here. In the instant funding, I guess, is like 2.5% or something. And what is really, really low, and here in funded, it's like 0.5% at the moment. So my maximum allowed risk is $250. In funded, in the challenge is 1%. There's more detail about the challenges. So at first, the profit target is $3,000. That's normal. It's the normal or the average sizing in futures prop challenges. But here, and this I think is the most completable benefit of IQ Capital, that you have a maximum drawdown of 3K. That's amazing because you have a lot of breathing room, and even if you trade this 1%, you have like 6 shots from the beginning, not with the end of day drawdown calculated, but in general you have like 6 shots. And I recommend to trade like or like in the funded phase to trade less. So there's the maximum position loss flat. So the maximum risk is 0.5%, I guess. So $250. And there are also like trade a maximum of like $80 of risk, really, really maximum to keep my account secure. I will show later how it runs at the moment. But here in the challenge phase, you have this maximum 1% and this 3K of drawdown, what is really cool. But also the benefit of this 1% to not over risk and try to like just gamble and stuff. So I think it's a mix of creating good habits with a maximum position loss flat of 1% and having breathing room with the 3K of max drawdown, what's really cool. Then you have a challenge duration of 1 month, and then there is a monthly recurring fee. The first challenges is a gift. It's like $9 or something. And if you buy a normal challenge and use my code PropTrader Niklas, then you get like also the percentage of this current day. Most of the time it's like 80 or 70%. I took like 3 or 4 challenges, and the maximum I invested was around $100 for this 3 to 4 tries to actually pass one. So it's really cheap in general with the accounts, with the coupon codes, and also the monthly fee. Okay, it kind of puts a little bit pressure on you. Like in Lucid trading, you don't have this monthly recurring fee, what is cool, but you have like this challenge pricing of $80 or something, I guess. And I think if you pass like in 2 months or less, then you're cheaper. With IQ Capital, you have more maximum drawdown and you create good habits. Yeah, let's get into the funding and payout stage. So IQ Capital says that they pay out 90% of profits, and there's no minimum payout requirement. So there is a little bit of a minimum. So at the beginning, you have like a profit target. It's German, but in English, profit target of $275, and I need to crack this amount to have to be liable for a payout, and then I can pay off like 50%. And that's a minimum target. It's not too much, and then I can pay out like this $130 or something more at least. And yeah, there's a minimum of 10 active trading days, and at the moment I have like, I guess, 6 trading days or something. And over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days, all in profit, luckily so far. And then I need to trade like 4 more days, and I'm available to do the payout with crypto or bank transfer. And the payouts, that's really interesting, are guaranteed with 48 hours, and on an average it takes time of 3 hours. Let's see. There will be a payout probably in a couple of days, and then I can tell you if this is true in the next video. And yeah, the main rule is like a scalping rule. So you should let your positions run at least 50 seconds. So 50% of your trades should you should run or hold longer than 50 seconds or 15 seconds. Okay, that's not much. So you should not like hyperscalp, but you basically can hyperscalp 50% of the time. But yeah, my trades I let run like most of the time a couple of minutes or at least 15 seconds. So yeah, to summarize funding and payout rules, so it's really easy. 10 active trading days, 90% of profits, no minimum payout requirements instead of this like $275 minimum target. And then you can pay out 50%. I think the maximum is $1,500 for a 50K account. So you can pay out, if you make 3K, you can pay out $1,500 at the first time after 10 days, and you get this money in 3 hours. Yeah, really cool. And let's get into it, how I trade. So basically, I'm using this concept, what you're maybe familiar of. It's auction market theory. So it's a context tool to have an outlook where the market can go next. And I don't want to get to in much of detail in this video right now. I just want to tell you that's basically it's auction market theory, how I trade with gamma exposure. So I also have a look on how these hedgers are positioned. And then I have a lot of tools stacked together. So auction market theory, gamma exposure, and then I have basically two setups: pullback setup in the trend and a breakout setup, what I sometimes need to get a couple of tries and then get the runner and also scale into it, and where I make most of my money from in net negative gamma environments like this one, where I trade breakouts. So I also created this indicator for ATES, which actually shows you, like in PropControl in the trading journal. I've vibe coded. Your link is in the description for free. There's also the GEX tool. And then I combine all these tools and have at first an outlook in the auction market theory. So today, basically, there was this low volume area and there's a likelihood of clearing this area. And then we got a nice buying stretch over here and created an imbalance. So there's a lot of buying pressure and we got into this area over here. So this is a big balance over here. And my idea was, if we get into this balance with buying pressure, then we probably clear this low volume over here. So this was my context from today. And then I take on the next layer. Okay, if this long above this area is the direction, then I take a look at the next tool. And the next tool is the GEX dashboards. So the gamma exposure of the hedgers. So the futures market, there are a lot of market participants. There's a lot of bullshit out there on YouTube about liquidity sweeping and rich players and the big banks and the big boys and all this stuff. But in general, there are a couple of market participants. It's the futures traders, the hedgers, the arbitrage traders, the commission traders, the banks, the institutions, the pension funds, and all this stuff creating the market. And GEX is like one tool to kind of have a look in the hedgers. So we have order flow, where we can see basically how the futures traders are trading. And the hedgers, they're also providing liquidity for the futures traders. And therefore, it's kind of important to know how this gamma regime is formed. And if I know I'm long above this area, and my goal is to take it, to ride this wave until the end of this low volume from that day, or the high of this prior RTH session, and I know, okay, I'm in a positive environment, then I try to only trade pullbacks. So basically, what the ATES indicator shows us here is, in a positive exposure, we need to trade pullbacks, fades, and reversals. And in the net negative exposure, we want to trade breakouts. Be careful around near zero. That's why the regime is saying near zero. We are just close in a not too deep in net GEX, but the deeper we get into net negative gamma, the more likely are breakouts. And then in this positive environment, I trade pullbacks. In this negative environments, I trade breakouts. As simple as that. So to summarize my approach, and that exact approach how I got funded and also most likely get a payout soon, it's a context tool, auction market theory. You need to have an idea about where markets go next, where is price likely to trade into. Without this context tool, I can tell you with a couple of years experience from now, a setup doesn't matter. Without the context, the setup doesn't matter. The setup can be very basic, go long above a high, go short above a low, if the context is correct. But with the best setup in the world, without context, also the best setup is worse. So the context at all, it is what makes you profitable. At the end, you can have a code, like you can code setups, and you can also do an algorithmic approach. I also tried that. I know, okay, over a long run, some setups, they are profitable, but there's also like really, really hard swings. This is impossible to have like a P&L curve, basically what's going clean upwards only with a setup and a programming and a static approach with a setup. In my opinion, I think the most important thing is to have the context and then trade the setups in the correct context. And this is how you get profitable and how I got profitable. There are a lot of philosophies how to get profitable, but it's my philosophy. And yeah, if you like it, please leave a thumbs up for this video. If you want to use my journal and where the Gags dashboard is, it's for free. It's PropControl, link is in the description, and we see us in the next video.